Can spanking cause mental illness? Well, researchers in Canada say physical punishment is linked to mood disorders, substance and personality disorders. Now, I got to tell you, this is not a mystery to those of us that work with people who have been affected by these sorts of behaviors from their parents. There's a 100% probability if somebody gets to me that they had childhood trauma of some type. And there's just no doubt that physical punishment affects how our brains develop. It's not open for debate for people that work with children and work with trauma survivors. It's just the way it is. Jessica on Facebook says there's a difference between spanking and beating. A spanking is necessary every now and then. Beating your kid is never okay, and it could definitely cause mental illness. I would say to the young lady that wrote in there that if you pick up an object and hit a kid, you've definitely crossed a threshold where the brain development is affected. It's trauma. It shatters the brain's regulatory capacity. Is a simple swat a problem? Hard to say, but a practice of spanking, this research shows that it is, and that fits my clinical experience. Linda in Kansas, you have a comment.
I do. I think spanking is okay. I think that you should know the difference between spanking and beating.
I understand, but this research showed that simple spanking is associated with a higher risk of anxiety disorder, mood disorder, substance abuse, personality problems. There it is. There's the research. And it fits with all of our clinical experience. Why do people have such trouble with this? They're so wedded to spanking. There is always a better alternative to spanking. Always. So why do this to kids if now we have research that shows it adds risk to their mental health? Why?
Well, yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but I spanked my children when they were little, and they all turned out to be great people.
All right, well, I'm grateful for that. I didn't say it. Now, mind you, I am not saying that you spank, you're going to have these problems. It puts them at risk for these problems. And why put your kids at risk for mental health issues? We spent the first half of the show talking about people who were overeating because of these insufficiencies in emotional regulation. A good way to induce emotional regulatory problems, spank your kids, hit your kid.
All right, welcome people that are on Facebook. Hold on, let me just put this down so you guys can see. All right, there I go. Let's remove that. Where Chrissy gone? All right, Chrissy has exited. Welcome, folks. I just wanted to play that video for you guys just so you can, get a little bit of the research that has already been done on this topic. That was Dr. Drew, I think it was, who is a clinical psychologist. So he deals with, people with who have mental issues all the time, and he's seen study after study show that the effects of spanking, beating, whatever you want to call it, you guys like to pretty it up because y'all believe in it so much, y'all don't want to say what it is, which is beating, bullying, taking advantage of your children. It does have psychological effects in most circumstances. And so he was just, asking questions. Why do people have such difficulty when the evidence shows how dangerous it is, how detrimental it is to a child's development? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And it was sparked by, I saw an article last week, I think it was, where the Ministry of Education will be moving towards banning corporal punishment from schools, which I was excited. I was elated. I couldn't be happier when I saw this news because it shows that we want to take steps in the right direction. Hold on, let me go ahead and give Chrissy a call because she was on just a minute ago and for some reason she dropped out. So just bear with me. Let me get her back on the show. 1 second. Let me give her a call and see what's going on. Oh, I can't hear it ringing. Also, you guys, please go ahead and share the video while we get set up. Like say, you guys on Facebook Live, you have the benefit of getting the pre-show. So any discussions that we tend to have prior to actually starting the show, you are privy to. But we ask that you go ahead and share the video. Go ahead and tag your friends in it. This is a hot button topic, especially for Bahamians, because you all believe in cutting it straight through. Most of you, at least. So go ahead and share the video because I'd like to get your viewpoints on it. I want a wide variety of opinions on this topic. But don't just give your opinion without giving some support in terms of if you have some facts, you have some information to back up. Tell me why you feel the way you feel, and let's use some logic. Don't just use emotion. Let's have a real discussion today, and not just one based on emotion. How you feel in the moment, or how you feel because oh, well, my mommy do this to me, my daddy do this to me, and I turn out all right. And let's have a real substantive discussion, not just about emotions, because those discussions don't tend to get very far or get anything accomplished. So I'm interested in having a holistic discussion. I'm always open to hearing your positions. Like I say, if you're making sense. Now, if you're talking fool, I'll have to call you out on it and point out your inconsistencies, or if I find something to be illogical, I will have to point it out. But let's have a discussion about it. So feel free to comment. Like I said, go ahead and share the video. Let's get as much people watching as possible, because I want a wide variety of perspectives on this topic. Although I know what most people are going to say, I've had this discussion many times over. And so you can answer you what?
I couldn't hear you, so I'm trying to sign out and start again.
I wasn't saying nothing,
Oh, I saw your mouth moving. Sorry.
Oh no, I had the video from Dr. Drew talking about spanking playing. Yeah, just come back on so I can add you back in.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so as we wait for Chrissy, so go ahead, start commenting, start sharing. Like I say, I value you guys' opinions, and I've actually been discussing this topic almost basically all week. I was on the radio for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday discussing this very issue. So I've heard, a wide variety of perspectives, but I'm still interested in hearing you guys' perspective. You can hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Good evening. Hello.
Say good morning to the good people.
Good morning.
Why you drop your camera sideways? Oh, all right. There we go.
My phone turned. I had it in my hand and it turned.
Oh, okay. Great.
Huh.
All right, let me get started officially.
Talk about cutting the chair and hip again.
Yeah, you know that. Bahamas did.
I like Dr. Drew. What he say? I can blame my mommy for beating my ass. That's why I fought. I love blaming my parents for the shit they do. I missed the point? Did I miss the point?
No, you didn't. All right, welcome back under the rug, folks. Christina Marlene Thompson is in the house. The great Chrissy Love is here, and we're going to be discussing what a lot of people consider to be my favorite topic, something that they know I'm very passionate about. From time. And quite frankly, a lot of people don't like to talk to me about this issue. Chrissy, why do you think that is, man?
Because mommy cut my ass and I turned out good.
But like I was explaining to the people, I want a lot of comments. I asked them to share the video because I want different perspectives. I'm always open to different perspectives, different opinions, but I just want it to be based on some form of fact, some form of logic. Like you have to make sense. You know what I mean? A lot of people give their position and it's strictly based on emotion. So I don't want to have an emotionally driven conversation today. I want to have a fact-based, logic-based conversation today with the goal of eradicating the social ills that we experience in the country, because I think this issue is at the root. It's not the only thing, but it is at the root with a few other things that are causing the things that we see in society today, the dysfunction that we see in society today. As it relationship.
Emotions.
So you have what?
I have mixed emotions.
I know most people do. That's what
Not beating our children has made our children rude and stink and disgusting.
And aggressive and violent. Beating them was beating them aggressive and violent.
About your mommy and daddy.
Boy, look here. Let me see. Jason Line Stubbs says, Chrissy, so hard, man. I miss it all the time. Heading to the gym now. Ah, Lord. Well, if you don't catch it live, the video is up after the show, so you can always go back and watch it later. Or if you don't want to watch it on Facebook, we upload the videos to YouTube. So please go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube. Just for the Under the Rug podcast on YouTube and you hit that subscribe button, and you will still get to see the shows. It may not be live, you may not get to comment live, but you will still get the show. Legal, say hi, Chrissy and Greg. Hello, Legal. Please, Legal, comment. We want your opinion. But the reason why I'm discussing this is because, like I said, I was on the radio for 3 days this week discussing this very issue on a show that normally deals with social issues in the country, and I just wanted to provide a different perspective for people. This is all I seek to do. I want to provide different perspective, and I want to try and help you with competitive waves, because we seem to always resort to just tearing up people's hip. And what sparked the conversation initially was the Minister of Education saying that they are moving towards banning it from schools. And Chris, that made me happy. I was super excited. I was dead happy when I saw that. And I disbelief. I couldn't believe it.
Because half the teachers who beating your children, they themselves are wounded persons.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
I hit my child with a piece of wood.
What you do to them?
Nothing, actually. I tried to go through the proper channels of the school, and that turned out poorly. I still regret not punching the shit out of her. But I want to be one of those parents.
Exactly. But yes, he said they're actually moving towards. Now, what I didn't understand was why they were kind of like rolling it out like district by district. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a blanket. Everyone, stop. They're gonna start, and I think Grand Bahama and Bimini.
Right. You expect Bahamas to give up cut ass, right? So
I don't. Well, this is going to be interesting. Because once I want to see what happens once it actually comes into effect. I want to see the reaction after that. But again, as a politician does, I saw him kind of backpedaling another story.
You have Jeff Storian.
And you know what I think it is? I think deep down, Jeff Lloyd in his heart does not believe in it and does not want it to continue. Because he knows, and he even admitted in the article that I read, he said that it's proven to be ineffective, right? This is why he's moving towards banning it. But at the same interview, he then says it should be an absolute last resort. And I was like, oh, come on. Now, see?
Jeff is still Catholic, remember that.
I don't.
Catholics invented the whole ruler in school, beat your ass, beat your children.
Hey, Alicia. You think that's it? I think it's him being a politician now. Politicians have the pander. You know what I mean? So I think he heard. I think after the initial announcement, probably heard, as we would expect, Bahamians in support of beating, and he's like, hold on now, I can't commit completely because there's a large amount of constituents that still subscribe. So I have to say, well, it should be a very last resort. So I didn't like that mixed message that was put out. But again, I'm still I'm still optimistic because he at least expressed his desire to have it removed completely. And Dito says, Greg, do you think that spiking has absolutely no place as a tool in the tool bag? Yes, Dito, I believe that it has no place as a tool in the tool bag, because what you then say is violence is okay as an offense in certain situations. And I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's a foundation we should lay. And this is why we have such a violent society. This is why you have kids hitting other kids, and they just doing what has been done to them. And so they want to impose their will on others. So it sets a dangerous precedent. That's why I don't think there's any place for it. Chrissy, your thoughts on the banning of corporal punishment from schools?
Well, I mean, of course, from schools, I've always had a hard time with persons who are not your parents. Let me just say for the record, but the reason why I'm so ambivalent about corporal punishment, and you and I have done many shows on this, especially for us people of color. Okay? Why Keitra being trapsy today? I know, Keitra, guess what? You can be the first to know, boo. I can invite you to the wedding. My thing is this, schools, I have a problem with schools having the permission to spank your child. And as a black person, I never understood for the life of me, while those of us who come from people who were whipped and beaten into submission for decades, for centuries, 400 years of slavery, I don't understand why we are so quick to embrace that. We're so quick to use that biblical scripture, spare the rod and spoil the child.
Line in the Bible, Chrissy. Line in the Bible.
Spare the rod and spoil the child ain't in the Bible? That's what God tell me.
No, you could Google it. See, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't check for themselves. They just go with what people tell them. That ain't in the Bible. No, I can admit,
what does it say?
There's a version. It doesn't.
Dino and Jason.
Yeah, it doesn't say that word. It doesn't say that in those words, but it does say something like that. It says something about if you spare the rod, you hate your child or something like that. But it isn't.
Okay, as a black person, I always had a problem with us using the same punishment that was doled out to us. Mm-hmm. And so I'm ambivalent. However, having been a teacher and having seen rude children that make my skin crawl, I don't know if beating the shit out of them is the solution, because most people beat when they're angry. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it provides any kind of solution except for the parent or the offended person. Mm-hmm. I have beat Wayne maybe twice in his life because I hated the humiliation of being beaten. And just, I agree with the school thing because I hated how my mother and father allowed other family members to beat on me and my sister. Yep. Okay, we had family members who outright abused us. Yep. And again, it was considered okay.
Yes, and still is.
Today, I will admit, I just have some feelings about these family members. So the thing is, I'm very ambivalent about it. Because I remember when I was teaching school and you would talk to a child and they just refused to listen. They did have caning at the schools that I had taught to, but it was to be done by the administration. It seems that in the Bahamas now, because everybody's so upset, everybody want to beat your child. Mm-hmm. And I just have a problem with strangers hitting on my son. Like when that bitch at St. Anne's beat my child. I had a major, Dina Gadet, bitch. I had a major problem with her. Yeah. I have a major problem with that.
Is she a teacher or like a senior administrator or something?
Yeah, though that was the deal according to some of the schools, but some teachers get frustrated and they take matters into their own hands. So yeah. I have mixed feelings about beating. I think there's a time for discipline, but again, having worked in journalism, I have a problem when beating just goes to the left where people have killed their children because of their own inefficiencies. A lot of people aren't equipped to be parents, just because you can.
Listen, Chrissy, you take it right out of my mouth. I agree completely.
Anybody take, baby.
And this may sound harsh, right? This may sound harsh and rough.
You're harsh. But
if beating your child is an option, you ain't ready to be a parent.
Well, what do you say to all the mama them and great Grammy them who, again, picking the tamarind switch for your own self, again, a form of mental cruelty.
Listen,
grandmother, that is the meanest thing you can do.
Let me tell you, you think that bad. Let me tell you, my old lady had to take it to the next level. You all think this a game.
What you do?
Let me tell you how psychotic they was when it come to beating us. How psychotic she was. So we must do something. I can't even remember what it is we do. They used to get beat for so much things. I don't know. I can't even remember.
Time to cut Greg ass.
Yeah, it's like it was on the schedule. Okay, this cut up time. Okay, yes, let me go get the switch. Right. But it's like, let me tell you what she do one time. My cousin was there.
Now you know now. She could tell you lie.
Listen, anytime we bring up these things, they want to play. Oh, just stop lying. And children don't forget those things. Those experiences, they are etched in your brain forever because they are traumatic.
So what happened? What she do? I want to hear.
Let me tell you what she do, right? So my cousin was by us, and we have a great relationship with our cousin. He loves us. We love him. And like I say, we do something, I guess. I can't remember. But she wanted to beat us. And so she go on to him and she say, come here. Now, I need you to go there. And you need to get one stick off the tree. Right? Uh-huh. And now tell you the psychological game she playing, right? So she tell him. Now he taking, mother sick, these my little cousins. I love them. I want them, get hurt too bad. So he might be thinking, let me get something a little soft or something that may break easy, or you know what I mean? Right. So she probably already noticed, because this is what she tell him. Say, now listen, and if it break, I could beat you. So now he gotta go get something so strong so that he don't get beat, so we get punished. That's the psychos that raised me. You understand?
Like psychos raised most of us, Greg.
Yes. And we think like that's okay. You know what I mean? Look here, let me read this. Let's see. Sherelle Rollcock says, you must spank your kids. Some demand more spanking than others. Well, Sherelle, I think you have a fetish. You know what I mean? Because spanking should be reserved for consenting adults in the bedroom. That's what spanking is. I don't know why y'all are so excited to hit up and feel up on child's hips. That
Black
is
people to beat their children, Greg. It's a cultural thing. Cut ass is cultural in the black community. And again, what makes me puzzled is that we were beaten as human beings. I never got that. And that's why I know I made a vow when I had my kid. I tried, but that day when he wrote on the wall, I had to cut his ass.
But see,
I have mixed feelings, Greg. Everybody,
and let's work through it, because like I said, on those shows, right? Of course, you had the people. Oh no, I cut them no matter what. But then you had some people, right? And there was I remember this one lady in particular, because I really felt for her, and you could tell she genuinely didn't want to do it and wanted to do better and wanted other ways, because she called and she said she has a 12-year-old daughter, and her daughter really doesn't listen to her or doesn't seem to respect her. And the host pointed out something very important. Now what happened is the mother said she respects her father, but guess what? The mother and the father ain't together, and she ended up marrying after her father.
That's rebellion.
See, and that could be the case. And that's what the host was like. You sure it ain't because she is not happy that y'all ain't together? Right. And we told her, we say you have to have actual conversations with her. You have to sit down with her and try to get her level and get her to really open up to you as to why she don't. Because we asked her, she said she told her she don't feel like she love her. You know, the daughter said, I don't feel like you love me. And she said, all these things, I do everything for this child. What she means, and I say, hold on now, because I had to learn as an adult. The things you value does not mean that the other person is going to value it the same. So you may be looking at it, oh, I pay for this, I put you to school, I feed you, I clothe you, I do this. But that don't mean the same to that child. The things that they may value may be the very things that you are not providing. So you have to really speak to her and find out why it is she feels that way. Have conversations. They're human beings. You know what I mean?
So children are beings in the Bahamas. Children are property.
Say that again. Say that again, please.
Children are, you know this. You know how we grew up. I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. But you see, again, what we do as adults, and I was guilty of this with Wayne sometime too, adults expect to take their 30-year-old, 35, 29-year-old brain and understanding and expect their 5, 6, 12, 15-year-old child to understand. That's impossible.
Right.
I just don't understand. And it's so weird. The same people who used to cut our ass in history, I know a lot of my white friends never had a beating in their life.
Exactly.
But they used to cut that black ass, though, during slavery time.
So what that say to you?
It's a pathology, Greg. That's why we're so confused. And like you say, when we try to unpack it, it's so many feelings attached to it. So
jeez, look here.
When I used to cut Wayne, I used to cry.
Because you know deep down it's wrong and you don't want to do it. Chrissy, you carry this thing inside you for 9 months, pushed this baby out, was wiping the baby hip, feeding the baby, raise it from. How could you?
Yeah, it hurts. That's why, and that's why Bahamians. You see, if you ask me to unpack my feelings about it, I may not be comfortable doing that. That's why it's easy to say, like the many times we've done this show, well, beating never killed me.
Well, it killed some other people.
Yeah.
I told you, right? That's such a stupid reason. Okay, so if you get shot, you can go to the police and say, hey, shoot me again, but I ain't die. That's your reason, because it didn't kill me, so I might as well continue to do it. Hey, shoot me again, please. I ain't die. That makes plenty. We don't think of the things we say sometimes. It's ridiculous. And I want to address the comment right here. Listen to this, Chrissy. I can put it up on the screen. Come on. Come on. Listen to this, Chrissy. Sherelle Roll Cox says, we sort out the school next. Now, I can tell you, no lie, right? I've been to school for 12 years. God ain't never been in my class.
Gregory,
I never seen.
Stop being atheist. God is everywhere.
No, she say we putting him out to school. Could you put
that poem going around with these conservative Christians who are so fucking annoying?
Hey, and listen,
God, why did the school shooting happen? Because you took me out of school.
Oh, it's a bunch of nonsense. Sherelle, you need to take this indoctrination of your religious belief out of school. I agree, take it out. Because it is unfair. And it is unconstitutional. You can't be imposing your religious belief. Just
Jarrell making me joke.
Don't joke now. Don't joke. Let's see. Let me read some more comments.
Thank God.
Joanna Stoss, your mother never beat you, not one time. What you mean?
Joanna, know you
mean?
ain't.
Oh, okay. She mean Keitra. Okay, I was wondering because boy, she couldn't been talking about my mother. I didn't know that.
You never got beaten. Lucky you.
All Keitra told was cut up. She almost get as much cut up as me, but ain't much people get close to as much beating as me.
Most Bahamians believe that beating your children's asses is like, I remember back in the day, I make a joke about it now as a 55-year-old woman, but I remember my little cousin, when I first came from New York, you know, I was learning these Bahamian things. So my cousin tell me, if you take your eyelash and you put it under a rock, you ain't gonna get beaten. By the time I was like 15, I had no eyelashes. Seriously, I believed that shit. I used to take my eyelash out my eye, pluck it, put it under a rock. Marina still would cut my ass. All her sisters-in-law. Yeah, anybody could have beat up on us back in the day. And that's why I have mixed feelings about it. And I sometimes find myself despising my parents for treating us like that.
Yep. I used to despise my parents as a child, to be honest with you.
Of course.
Really did.
Your mother beating on you and your father beating on you. Now, I will admit, I only got one cut ass from my daddy. And I wasn't even a cut ass. I remember he was talking to someone in Nassau. I was screaming in the house. He picked me up, put me on the floor, and put his foot on top of me. That was the first and the last.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. How big his foot was?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it matter. He might have one little small foot.
No. I think that a lot of parents and a lot of authority figures beat up on children because of their own frustration. And it was done to them.
Yes.
It was people tell me with Raising Wayne, oh, you trying to be so white. I'm like, I'm not beating up on my child.
Woo.
Bitches.
Let's address that because some people call Jay on the radio, they call him an Oreo, right? Because, you know, he against it as well. He against it as well, right? So they try to call him Oreo, but let me show you how crazy we can be as black people sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. We refer to black people as white when they exude better behavior, when they speak properly, when they are aggressive in their thought, when they are thinking bigger and expanding their horizons. We refer to them as white. Don't you see the danger in that?
Of course. That's the colonialism, slavery, brainwashing. Because only things with sense are white. Black people are incapable of those things.
I think we should be thinking more like white people because let's look at this.
Except the oppressive parts.
No. But here's the thing, right? When we think about the people that are generally, when we describe people that are generally, speaking in control or in ownership of certain things, who do they typically tend to be?
Even in the Bahamas, majority black country, the white people still control the economy. Lord, I sound radical, eh?
But should it not be in our best interest to say, why is this? Maybe we should think more like them.
And what are they doing that we can emulate? Oops, I just messed up my camera.
Yeah, that's much.
Hey, what? What Nelson say? I've been called white. What?
What? Nelson call you white?
Because he like
no, sir.
Not cream. I can't take it.
I can't believe that one, Nelson. You got to tell me.
Homogenized for a reason.
Yeah, but you know what it is we deal with? We have a serious case of Stockholm syndrome here.
Yeah, we do.
We have.
It's a second authority.
Yeah, listen. There's one man called the show. Man, sound voice up. First thing in the morning, voice up, drunk, talking about how he used to get tear up. His mommy come to the school during assembly.
Yeah,
and tear him up with the some kind of drop cord or something.
Oh yeah, but he's famous for going to school and embarrassing their children.
But he was like, boy, and I was so glad she do that. It's a good thing. I was like, my brother, you are damaged. You are damaged.
But that's mama though. That's
exactly.
Mama.
And see, we try to cope with that cognitive dissonance, right? Mm-hmm. We have those conflicting beliefs. We know this beating is wrong, but it comes from one who we love, a good person. So we can't put together why this is happening. So we have to then lie to ourselves and convince ourselves that what is being done is for the better, just so we could deal with that uncomfortable feeling, that dissonance that we feel. Yep. Because I love my mommy. She's a good person, but I know she's doing something that is wrong and she shouldn't be doing. But I have to now make it make sense. And so these are the things we tell ourselves. Oh, well, it made me a better person. Well, how do you know?
That's a bunch of shit.
Yes.
I just think that, because the thing is, I will admit, and I've said this to both of my parents. Like I said, my father, again, I could hardly remember my father spanking me. But my mother was the enforcer, my mother and her family. And again, the thing with the school corporal punishment issue, which speaks to me, is that, for example, like you and Keitra, right? You don't believe in spanking Kaylee. Kaylee goes to school. The school is going to give someone permission to cut her ass, and y'all don't do it.
That already happened. This is why we had to take her to school. This is why we had to take her to first school, Chrissy. We told them, listen, we don't beat the child, and we don't want y'all to beat her too. And they beat her for must he hugging or kissing her, and one little boy, they must he hug and kiss her, some kind of embrace that they had.
You beat the child for that.
3-year-olds, y'all beaten for showing some form of love and affection, embracing
their own sickness onto the children.
Exactly. That's your sick, hurted mind. Boy, we are doing so bad. It's ridiculous. Let me read Sherelle. Sherelle said, it's a combo, tie and breast. Anyhow, it wasn't always easy. We used to go to McDonald's when we get A's, trips for being on the honor roll, and a good cut A for stealing dollar from your auntie purse. Now, that's the dangerous part, Sherelle. I don't know if you even realize that.
Yeah, for real. But, Sherelle, you mixing your analogies, boo.
But that's the dangerous part. You know why? Because let's look at it. Let's look at a battered woman relationship.
Now, that's why most women getting cut ass now.
Exactly. Because, listen, what you tend to do is, in order to deal with the abuse, you have to remind yourself of the good things that the person has done so that you
put your ma right in geriatrics.
So this is how you deal with it. You say, okay, well, this person take me to McDonald's. We've been on trips. This person is a guy. So it must be okay that they hit me. I mean, they love me. They still love me. And this is what women tend to do that are in abusive relationships. I think is because they grew up in an abusive household. They were beaten as a child from people that they love. They don't see it as wrong. And this is why you see them blaming themselves. They start to blame themselves when they're in these relationships. Oh, well, I deserved it. I did this thing, and he was angry and upset, and I deserved it. You know what I mean? So that's a dangerous precedent that you're setting. So you got to be careful with that.
That's sick. And the other thing is, like, Chris Rock makes this joke about when people who treated you poorly try to do something nice to you. He says it's like the uncle who molested you paying for you to go to college.
Yep. So that is
ickiness underneath that lies underneath, and that's what a lot of Bahamians rather take that ickiness than unpack those feelings.
Yes. And that's
why it will never change. If my mom cut my ass, now a lot of people like us, well, I know in my age group, a lot of us who got our ass beat tried our best not to beat our children, because our parents, by the time trees them come around, they was tame. Your mom used to cut your ass anywhere.
Yeah, boy, look here.
Back in the 60s and 70s, these niggas was crazy.
Okay, you don't know my mom. Trust me, you don't.
Like they won't get mad.
Maybe damn now, but oh boy, back in the day, that was a Tasmanian devil.
And when you were growing up in the 80s, it seemed that we're starting to mellow a bit. Those of us barring any mental dysfunction. Now you have a lot of people who aren't equipped to have children, who have mental issues, who are gonna beat their children and do shit. But back in the day, see, it wasn't all this outrage about cutting your children ass. It wasn't politically incorrect to cut your children ass in the 60s, 70s. So people looked at it differently.
Yeah, less awareness back then.
Right.
Dito comment. Dito says, Greg, I used to date a woman with 2 kids. Oh, shoot. Daddy daycare, rent a daddy. He says, and she never beat them. Her son was unruly. I disciplined, not spanked. And listen, let me say thank you for making that distinction. No, but hold on, but I want to commend him for separating the two, because what we tend to do as Bahamians is lump those 2 words as though they're the same thing. When you hear people say they mean beat, but they say in discipline, and I hate when people do that. Because
okay, that's true.
Discipline is not beating. Discipline is teaching. That is not beating. So I wish Bahamians would stop using discipline as a synonym for beat. You know what I mean? But let me continue reading. He says, I disciplined, not spanked, many times, but he continued to be unruly. I spanked him once, 6 months in the relationship. She looked at me in shock. But since then, he was calm around me. He was 5 at the time. We broke up, and then I saw him 5 years later, and he ran to me and embraced me with a hug. Now, that kind of thing can be very misleading.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you may say, okay, well, see, look, all right.
No.
He was bully. I beat him, and now he loves me.
No.
That is, careful with that. You got to be careful. That is not necessarily causality. That may not be because you spank him, oh, he now loves you. Because I think there are different ways you could have got your point across and changed his behavior without resorting to spanking. It's just that maybe this was you only had a few things in your arsenal and you had to resort to this one. So what I try to do is arm people with new tools to put in their utility belt. And we got to be careful because you hear people say also, they say, oh, well, I talk and that don't work. Well, how are you talking to them?
True.
How's your voice? Are you aggressive? Like, how are you speaking to them? What's your approach? Because approach is important because even as adults, when people approach us the wrong way, you think we're trying to hear what they got to say?
But also, we have to realize, like you talk about the lady who was with you on the show. At 12 years old, that daughter didn't just wake up one day acting like this.
Exactly.
We don't nip things in the bud. We let things fester and fester. And by the way, Dito, I love you dearly. I knew you when you were in Rika's belly. But any woman who let their boyfriend beat a child is an asshole. Now, when you get married, you could have that conversation. Because half of these people around here, plenty children dead in the Bahamas now. Because of women letting their newly met boyfriend beat up on their children and grind them and molest them and treat them like shit.
And recently, Chrissy, we had these boyfriends end up killing the child.
Exactly. So I have a problem. I don't care if it was 6 months in a relationship. Any woman who dating a man, let me look in this camera. Any woman who dating a man and you allow your man to beat your child, you's a trick bitch.
Okay.
And any woman who get married, and see, this is a tough subject for me because I saw my mother allowed my stepfather to beat me like a slave.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a touchy subject for me. That's why I try not to come on these shows because I get emotional.
At 55, you're still affected by that.
Still affected by it.
Yes. So people think this thing just goes away. It doesn't.
Wait for him to dead. I could say that now.
Wow. Sherelle says, no, Greg, you mix up. If you do wrong, you get corrected. Well, Sherelle, did I ever say that you don't correct the wrong? Have you ever said that?
But correction for Sherelle means cut ass.
And this is what I'm going to say, right? But y'all so bipolar. Y'all don't understand.
Octopolar.
Huh?
Octopolar.
No, see, I say bipolar because watch this. Here's the two
personality.
So here's the two ends, right? It's either cut hip or do nothing.
Yep.
You see, those are the two poles. They think it's either, they say if you ain't beating your child, then you letting them get away with everything. You ain't doing nothing. And that is incorrect. You all got to understand. It's a spectrum. There are nuances, right? I correct every time I think my child does something wrong. I correct her, right. But I don't.
All right. But that's just it. It's zero to whatever, 0 to balls to the wall.
Yes.
There's no progression.
That's the problem. So I ain't mix up, mom. No, mom. I correct.
People are like Sherelle. That's why the Bahamas is such a hurting nation.
Exactly. And so frustrated. I mean, you go around, everybody face mash up when they're driving on the road. They're blowing their horn and screaming and cursing and giving people the finger. Just low frustration, aggression.
Right.
But then they would not acknowledge that this is probably a result of their childhood or upbringing. They're going to throw it onto something else because mama do it, mommy do it, Grammy do it, Annie do it. I love the good people. And then it can't be that. Kendora Lightborn says, I believe different things work for different kids. I feel as parents, we should allow other parents do what they feel are best to rear their kids. Well, Kendora, here's what I say. I agree with you partially. I agree with the first part of what you said. I believe different things work for different kids. I agree with that. Where we disagree is I feel we should allow other parents to do what they feel are best to rear their kids. And here's why. I was driving up on Robinson Road a long time ago, but a couple of years ago or something. And this lady had, I assume it was her son, but she had a young man string up, punching him to the face. Now, I'm sure in the road, holding up traffic. Now, I'm sure she felt like this is what she needed to do to rear her kids and what was best for him. Should we allow these things to happen, Kendora, just because we should allow parents to do what they feel is best? Should we do that, Kendora? I want you to really think about that.
That's a mental issue right there. What makes you beat your child in the street? See, I don't, and the thing is, I don't understand that. What makes you, like, I even remember to this day, and I had to stop doing it because one time when I did spank my son, I had a habit of taking him to the bathroom, and I said, I should never do that because the boy ain't gonna never go to the toilet. So I tried to stop hitting him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm just saying, I just think that Bahamians just carry it. What does this line and shot us? You're gone too far. We just go too far because our own hurt and our own and ill feelings.
And that is the very problem. And that is why I disagree with Kendora. We cannot, and we should not allow parents to do what they feel is best, because some parents will take it way too far, and they are taking it way too far.
Run out.
People would drop cord to whip your child in front of on assembly. What?
And when you butt in, you could get cussed out, because I butt in on many situations in the food store, at the playground. I have inserted myself. And, my friend is always telling me, girl, one day you can get shot. But I said, I can't watch people. Like I always tell the story of this woman beating her son in the food store with a pack of custard cream.
With a what? With a pack of custard cream?
Cream. In the food store, children got asked for things.
Well, first of all, we have a problem, right? And here's why. Because that is not a very good weapon. Because we know them custard cream bag, they ain't too thick. And once you go and good swat with that, then cookie and cream all over the place. So she needs to, think more about her weapon selection. That was a terrible idea. Because you got from all over. Yeah, but I agree with you. And I was going to say, you are a lot stronger and braver than I am, Chrissy. Because as passionate as I am about this topic, it is so difficult for me.
But Greg, guess what? It ain't going to never change.
Because, like you just described, it's so difficult to intervene. But for that very reason, because I know it's in all likelihood going to be met with aggression towards me for interrupting, because most people feel like Kendora suggested, like, listen, this is my child. I know what's best for my child. You don't try to tell me how to raise my child. Mm-hmm. And that's it's difficult. I've seen situations and I didn't know what to say to the person, because it's like
I stay, especially with women, because unfortunately a lot of Bahamian women, again, 80% of the kids born to single women. A lot of women are frustrated. I shouldn't do this on International Women's Day, but a lot of bitches are frustrated being a mother.
Yes.
Can't handle it. They ain't got no man in their life.
That came
with the wood. And so they take it out on the children. If you don't have no children, close your friggin' leg.
Oh, we have use contraceptives, man.
Please, contra who?
Use condoms, something, man. Come on. But let me see. Kendora says, no, definitely not. That is wrong. But this is why we have social services whose job is to step in when that kind of abuse is happening. But butting in doesn't help. Butting in doesn't help. I've lost a friend because I recommended she stop beating her child, so I don't go there. See there? The friend cut her off because she says she needs to stop beating her child.
That's what, Kendora. You better off, boo. There's certain people you got to start cutting out of your life. And as you can see, my ministry has been for the past 2 years the cut off ministry. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yes.
The fact that you were telling her about beating her child and she is going to get mad at you. Like I had to tell a relative of mine who choked his own daughter. I was like, you out of order, nigga? You out of order. Mm-hmm. And then you the one who was saying, oh, Chrissy butting into the family business. But then your daughter, watch her grow up to go get married to a man who can choke her ass too.
Yep. She can feel like that's okay.
Daddy choke you, or either she gonna hate her daddy. Uh-huh. It's such a mixture of emotions. It's such a mixture of emotions. That's why, Gregory, we could talk about this till the cows come home. I'm glad about the school saying no to corporal punishment, because half of them teachers, they have their own issues too. But Bahamians gonna keep on cutting their children ass.
But let's get to the schools, because I remember I drove past this primary school. I knew about to say, but anyway, I drove past this primary.
Again, though, it's a good story.
They out on the basketball court having PE, I see the teacher with this big stick in their hand. I like, hold on now. This is a primary school or a zoo? This is a circus? Because that's the only place I saw someone wept, watching over the performance. You know what I mean? I was like, what is this, a zoo? This is how we raise children? And every time I drive even past the high school, like I'll drive past Doris Johnson and you will see, I guess it's the senior master or somebody with this big long cane in their hand walking.
Because everybody won't be in charge. Look at the fact, one of the most favorite shows on Bahamian TV, and Deonda made me laugh. One of the most favorite shows on Bahamian TV is grown-ass law enforcement screaming at young, rude children who are dealing with all kind of issues at home. And they think that that's okay to do that. See, there's a pathology among the people. There's a pathology. And again, Greg, it's hard to say mama was wrong for beating my ass. Daddy was wrong for beating my ass because they're your mommy and your daddy. Yep. And again, this is our culture. The Bahamas has a culture of cut ass. Yes. That's what we do.
Yes.
And if you're cutting your children ass, you think you white.
Yes. And oh Lord. Look at
I have white friends who's beat their children. I just want to put that out there.
Yes. And see, a lot of people misinformed too, because a lot of people think that, they say, oh, you're all trying to get like the States. Most of them don't know that it's still legal. You could beat your children in the States,
Of course.
A lot of people don't know that.
But your children can call 911 and report your ass.
As they should. As they should. But you could beat your children. You know what I mean? That's in law. You could still beat your children in all states. Now, it's the schools that they started taking them out of. But it's still not every school. I think there are still about 20 or so where corporal punishment is still legal and they still use the paddle or whatever it is in schools. So a lot of people don't even inform themselves and they just come up with what they feel, what they think it is. You know what I mean? Without doing an
administration, though. The average Joe and Jane can't beat your child's ass. It's on the administrative level. The same way how it used to be in the Bahamas until teachers start trying to, bring their own cut ass game into the mix.
And let me tell you how dumb it. And now let's get to how the stupid levels the beating gets to in school, right? Let me tell you my experience. I'm going to say I get one beating, but no, I lie. I used to get beaten quite often.
They called it cane. Y'all called it beating?
Let me tell you how bad this is, right? Now, this was a time my parents was going through a divorce. We was living with my cousin. I had to, find my way to school. However I get to school, we had to be catching bus or however, right? So I used to get to school late quite often. It's Delancey. I'll never forget her.
And see, notice how you still remember her name.
Of course. Miss Ballhead Delancey.
Bitch.
Never. I'm sure. I ain't gonna call her that. I'm sure she may have
call her bitch for you.
No. She may have been a good person, I don't know her personally. I only know her on the level as principal of the school that used to beat me every time I come late, right? So
how is beating the punishment for coming late?
And not once that I can remember.
Instead of them go fix R.M. Bailey Gym, they want to beat you for coming late.
Or how about this? Young man, I noticed you've been late.
Is something wrong at home? What's
happening? Why are you late on a consistent level?
What's going on? Shit, Greg.
Good at home is because it was a tough time at that time, but they don't care. So I had to stick my hand out. She had to cock back to last week and bring all her might down to hit my hand, and then send me to class to go right.
Where's she cocked back from, Greg?
The last week.
And right now, she used to enjoy that. You have some adults. We have some sick people who just enjoy beating up on children.
Yes.
And they want, like, see, Kendora said, right, you unhappy in your life and you want to beat on other people's children.
And that's but my thing is, you beat me in my hand and then send me to class to write.
Stupid.
Come on in.
Stupid.
Beat me and send me to write. That was the time you used to get beat. But another time, the stupidest time, now that's dumb. To me, that's dumb. Find out. Y'all need to care about the children a bit more. And I know, I ain't saying, it's easy, just find out. Because I know it can be difficult because there's so many students and there's so little teachers.
And the pay is $20,000 a year.
You're probably not compensated correctly. You're probably not given the adequate tools. So those are issues that we need to address as well. Probably before we even remove it, just outright remove it, we need to address those issues. The lack of funding in the right areas, because they throw a lot of money at school, but it don't go to the right places.
The most money is thrown at education.
Yes, but and look at the schools, look at the system, look at the pay, look at the equipment. You know what I mean? So where the money going?
You know where it's going.
Where it going?
Tracks.
So we got to deal with that corruption issue first. But let me tell you the next time, Chrissy.
I'm sorry, Nancy, do that to you here. Let me apologize for her.
Not a retarded time, right? So I remember the classroom and everything, Chrissy.
Of course, you remember
walking arm right now and walking this class. Oh, good, I remember this.
That is because it's left a scar on you.
Yes. So I can't even remember what it was for, but somebody in the class did something.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what they say? Well,
everybody getting beaten.
Everybody get beaten.
Oh,
You have to be kidding me. I ain't do nothing, but y'all beat everybody for one person? Yeah. How stupid is this? So they had Mr. Mackey. See, I remember their names. Mr. Mackey.
Hold on. Fuck you, Mr. Mackey. You unhappy bitch. I everybody.
Mr. Mackey used to always walk around and he had musty boat. He probably take, them duct tape days come with a big thick roll, right? He probably used that entire roll of duct tape on the stick he used to carry around. That's how much tape he had on his stick.
Why you carry around a stick though? Unless you're an African chieftain or something, but like why you gotta walk around with the stick? That's your intimidation?
Like they gotta, I don't know. That's musty.
People.
Yeah, but they feel they say it happened to them and they say they turn out all right.
Good.
So he hold up all us in the class, and here's what they used to do. This was the baggy pants era. So Mr. Mackey used to grab the side of your pants and up to make sure it tightened right up on your hip.
Why? Why you giving young boys wedgie, Mr. Mackey? You like money?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I did get a laugh out that experience, right? Because we used to have our pants used to be baggy, so when Mr. Mackey hit you, right, you hear
what?
You hear a bunch of pants, right? But in our class, this nigga used to have on some tight pants every day, right? So he gone up there, all you hear is low skin. So I died laughing in the back of the class. So that was one good thing that come out of that cut-up. That's the only good thing I take from that cut-up. But outside of that, that was one of the stupidest things I have ever experienced in life. So all of us must suffer because this person has decided
for the guilty. That's
it. Is ridiculous.
Wow. And Mr. Wisdom tried that in government high too. All of you all will suffer. I said, Mr. Wisdom, if you touch, that's why to this day, look, beside them shitty Christmas tree he decorate, me and him still friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And instead of them fix R and Bailey Gym, they want beat up on Sharon.
Yes, and I think about it, I say, man, listen, I wonder if you had some kind of fetish, man. Why you enjoying gripping up on niggas' pants to show they hip so much, man?
Like man.
He was what the boy name from 50 Shades of Grey?
What's the Grey first name? I forget.
He was Christian Grey before Christian Grey.
Yeah, and why are you gonna tighten up boy pants?
Tighten up, man, pants to hit them on their hip with a stick. What kind of
you check their lives? That's why I keep saying, and I used to say this when I was a consultant at the Ministry of Education. We need psychological exams for the people who are entrusted with our children.
I agree.
Because a lot of people in our society are hurting and they're unhappy. And they take that shit to their office. And when you're dealing with children, you are messing with impressionable minds.
Mm-hmm. All right? I agree. Very impressionable.
It's so sad. It's just so it's a cycle of sickness, Greg. I don't know how it gonna stop. I know, Chad. I know that.
Some of the comments that were coming from people was, listen, hey, well, y'all need to give us the option because I want if my child being rude in school, you need to beat them.
What's rude? And how long was your child rude?
Nah, I just said and this is dangerous too.
Being a child in the Bahamas is rude.
A child is rude anytime they are not a robot.
Or silent.
Anytime, yes. If a child ain't sitting down and absolutely quiet and keep still, anything outside of that is rude to Bahamians.
Yep.
I hate to hear them say, oh, that's rude. What you mean rude? Some people don't even want their child to correct them, Chrissy.
Oh, yeah.
Child being rude because they correct you. You say something wrong,
like that video.
You, and all that license. So we got to be careful. Bahamians like to throw around this rude word for every. Anytime I feel like you ain't doing what I want you to do, then you rude.
But children are going to be children. Like I've seen people spank children for running up and down on the park. Bitch, we on the park.
How stupid is that? And children have a ridiculous amount of energy.
In church talking. You want damn talk.
Exactly.
Which I don't understand. Again, there's a pathology with our people. I don't get all this unhappiness, man.
But
That's why it's sad, Greg.
because they are not, because it get due to them. It happened to them. You know what I mean? It happened to them also, and so they still unhappy from.
Good.
Say again.
They turn out good.
Okay. Some people like you cannot tell me you turn out good when you still want to be children.
And you right now, you know, when you pinning on your mommy diaper and her geriatric years, you know you pinch her ass.
Oh, me?
No, I'm just saying in general. I know people, I know many cases of elder abuse in the Bahamas. And when you ask about it, they would tell you some stories. And I'd be like, ah, shit, pinch her again then.
And you wonder why so much people just leave their parents when they get old, or throw them in one old folks home and don't check for them no more. Or you see them walking the road, you see them on the side of the road, and you say, what happened with this person children?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what that person was doing to them children when they were trying to raise them.
Yeah.
And like I said, the difficult part is it's so tough.
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. But it's tough because it comes from people you love, man.
Yeah.
And this is
people
why
are supposed to love you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's probably most important.
Right.
And that's why I say it's difficult, but we have to be able to separate, right? Because good people do all the time.
How do you do that?
You have to separate, meaning because you feel somebody is a good person, that does not mean that everything they do is going to be good.
But how do you separate that? Because again, in the Bahamas, you know what I was always taught? Chrissy, respect your mommy. Your mommy is your earthly God. When you're using earthly God to a child, that's scary. You dare not speak out, dissent, disobey, because you're scared.
No, I understand.
Going to naughty corner. Michelle, you know it's true.
Why'd you send me in the naughty corner, man?
They pinch her again when my friend tell me why she was pinching her mom.
Hey, but hold on. They don't have no problem pinching children, so why you can't pinch the adult?
Thanks.
Oh, be consistent, man. That's all I ask for.
If you had good parents, treat them good.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't give your parents who were pieces of shit. Do your best.
Yeah.
Do your best.
Yeah. And that's why I say we too loyal to family just because they family.
Well, you know, Greg, hold on. My corn. Did you just mash off all my toe?
You know, I tell you this all the time.
Greg been telling me this for 4 years.
You shouldn't be.
I finally break away though.
Yeah, you do it. But listen, I'm proud of you.
Finally, not only did I break away, I leave the fucking country so I don't have to see their ass.
you got all the way.
Oh, thanks, Greg.
That's the difference. But it's like we feel like obligation. We could have had the worst parents on the planet.
But that's your parents, Greg.
What that means? See, and this is what I say, and this is what I said the other day, right?
Greg, it ain't that easy.
Hold on, listen. Let me look in the camera and tell you all this, right? I don't give you credit for juicing, okay? I don't give you credit for having sex.
Boy, you harsh now.
I don't give you credit for ejaculating in a vagina.
Gregory.
I don't give you credit for that. I'm sorry.
That's a special union.
You don't get no brownie points. Anybody, barring some, physical condition or something, anybody could make a baby.
Boy, you hard now. Greg. We got hard, Greg.
So you don't get special credit just because you made a child. I'm sorry.
Yes, you do.
I give you credit for raising a child properly, for being loving to a child, for providing the appropriate care and attention to that child, for not being abusive to that child. These are the things I give you credit for, not for simply making a baby. So you don't deserve the utmost and highest honor and respect just because you had sex and you're going through with the pregnancy. I don't give you credit for that. I'm sorry.
That's harsh.
It's true. We give people too much credit for juicing. At the end of the day, that's how you make baby. You understand?
Tell us your cousin Gregory.
It's very easy to make.
Everybody can't do that, Greg.
Very easy to make baby. Matter of fact, it's so easy. It comes from something that we want to do so bad. We think about juicing almost down there all day, hours at a time. So this is something we want to do.
We think about juicing, not bringing children.
Yeah, because it ain't hard. You want to have sex, and the result of having sex without protection is a baby. So I give you no credit for that. I'm sorry. You don't deserve the utmost respect and the highest honor just parent, because anybody could juice and make a baby. I'm sorry. So don't look for credit from me, and your children don't need to give you this utmost respect and the highest honor. They need to treat you the way you deserve to be treated based on your behavior, not friggin' sorry.
Boy, you see why? Hold on.
And
do that.
And I can put this comment up, as Michelle Moore says, We can make this. We can create a. Let's create a bumper sticker, Chrissy. Juice responsibly.
But you know, my slogan from that time has been grind responsibly.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man.
We need to make some bumper stickers, and I'll put it on my car. Grind, but I keep it on my car.
Do that, Greg.
When I get my personal car, I can put it on my car. Grind or juice responsibly, please.
Greg, but people ain't gonna do that because, first of all, Greg, who does plan juicing? Juicing is a feeling that is coming.
Hold on now. We just plan juicing now. We just plan juicing. We don't plan baby. we don't plan baby, but we just plan juicing. Trust
me. Okay, yes. Okay. Yeah, I got
it. Most of the children running around in this country now is oops children.
Of course. Condomina, condomique.
Yeah, most of them is oops. We just plan juicing, but we don't plan no baby. Trust me.
That's true.
Yeah, we get emotional in that moment. And man, what is a condom? What that is?
My Grammy, and I used to be like, Mother, what you say? My grandmother say. Anyway, no, let me not say that.
I was waiting. How you could get answers like that and then.
I'm so ashamed.
Tell me what she say. What she say, man?
If cock have no conscience and hot pussy don't give a damn.
Hey, but did she lie though? Did she lie? Miss Thompson.
I shame.
Why you shame? Why you shame? It's the truth.
My grandmother didn't want her children to know she's the curse and say them words.
Ah, I see. That's what has happened. Listen, everybody want juice, but ain't nobody want to protect themselves. Nobody want to.
It was harsh. My heart beating fast. What you say? I give you no credit.
I give you no credit for juicing because that's what you wanted to do anyhow. You're thinking about doing it all day, every day, as something that you do. So you ain't getting no credit for it. Sorry, no. Don't think you in charge of this child must have the utmost respect just because you had sex.
That's your earthly God. Your mommy's your earthly God.
Oh, you treat them with respect. Respect is earned.
Even if it's parents?
Even if it's your parents, I don't care who it is. You're a human being. It is earned.
You my goals for cutoff game.
That says, LOL, Greg. Hey, what? Oops, baby. Both of y'all need to go in the naughty corner. Now, come on, Michelle. Let's be real. How much people you think in this country plan the children they got? Let's be honest. What percentage of Bahamians do you feel have planned their families to say, okay, they sit down and they say, okay, honey, listen, we can, how much children you want to have? Okay, you want to have 3 children? Okay, we're going to have sex on this day. We're going to make sure our children... This is the kind of family structure we want to have. How much people do you think actually sit and have these conversations? Keith was saying, me, our child is an oops baby too.
Baby too.
I got a oops baby, and I ain't scared to admit it. But you know what? My baby was an oops baby, but when my baby reached, I decided to become a parent and take care of my child, raise my child the best way I see fit. You understand? We ain't plan that child. We didn't plan to have that child.
And all children lucky now because at least y'all have birth control and then.
I'm telling you.
Hey, mommy Papa pile up on Grammy. Grammy getting pregnant.
You see a Shay Clark. Shay says, I got 3 and planned for 1. See there? So let's be honest, people. Bahamians. See there? Elizabeth Chinese Williams says maybe 5%.
Not even that. Okay. Yeah.
You think that's an accurate number?
Elizabeth's son say he never get beaten by her.
Yes, and see a lot of, and this is why I hate when people say, listen, a lot of people standing citizens you will find, and I would dare to say they are probably better functioning mentally because they didn't have those traumatic experiences of being beat from their parents. So they may be functioning on an even higher level than us that were abused as children.
People do say that. Like, I know when I did a show about who didn't get spanked before, I was surprised at a lot of my black friends who had never gotten a beating. I was like shocked.
Yeah?
Shocked that they never
American?
No, these Bahamians. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, many times. Bahamians who never got ass. Our friend Kirk never get beaten.
Yeah.
Never.
So I know quite a few, and like
you
I said, yeah, I know quite a few who didn't. And like I said, upstanding. And you can, and you, there's actually a difference, you know, when you actually have conversations, there's actually a difference.
Wait, hold on.
You can't tell. You could usually tell someone that was abused or affected psychologically from being spanked or beat as a child.
Definitely.
Always tell.
I have a little cousin, right? Whenever the least little noise, they was always so jumpy. Yo, we need to stop you though.
Go ahead
Yeah,
with the
but
story.
our
Sorry.
parents just used to beat you just because. Again, I believe a lot of Bahamian parents beat their children because they themselves are unhappy and fucked in the head. They just unhappy with their own life. Okay? I remember we used to stop giggling in that room. Okay, you can't giggle? Jesus.
But it's, and that's when you know it's straight
Unhappy.
frustration. Elizabeth Chinese. That's right, Greg. The poor kids be traumatized from too much cut hip.
You think so?
I know so.
Some days I just wonder, because see, I got plenty cut ass, and I was afraid of my parents. When does take me for light? And if I cut his ass a couple times.
Take you for low fence. You had to remind him you could fight.
Yeah, because that's why I have mixed feelings about it. Okay? Yeah. I remember when I went to my roommate in college, and her mother told her to do something. She was like, shit, Mom. I was like...
any black person from our background would be like,
look here, that freaked me right out.
But you know what that's a result of? That's a result of not doing enough. That's when you are that's truly allowing your child to get away with too much.
Yeah,
clearly. And see, what people tend to do is they think because you don't beat your children, then that's who you are. You that person that allowed them to get away with too much. And that is not the case. That person was way too slack and allowed way too much for that to get to that point. And it's, like I said, it's not either or end of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of... And you should address issues as they happen. Don't let them fester or build up, because then when you're bottle boys, you freak out.
Yeah.
So deal with it. You don't have to beat. You just address it.
And
it's a lesson.
I've seen, and again, for working in the media, you see people who snap. You see people who, you see beatings just gone to the left. And you'd be like, how it gone? Because a lot of people are attacking these children when they're pissed off. And I know the times that I've smacked Wayne, I've tried to count to 20. Okay, 50. Okay, the next day. I have to calm myself. Because I swear, like my Grammy, my Grammy used to tell us back in the day when she was going to beat us, she used to say, if I put my hand on you, somebody out the road got to take me off of you. I was so scared.
Grammy wasn't playing. Grammy was
Grammy didn't play, but Grammy had 60 and Jared. Grammy was tired.
What? Jeez. Michelle Moore says, man, Chrissy, new business. Print t-shirts. Give out oops t-shirts. Lord, wonder how many people can even. You know what? We need to work. I need to work on an oops t-shirt.
Greg, let's go. And how long have I been talking about these t-shirts? By the way, can I give a plug to my t-shirt shop? tchip.com, Chrissy Love Live. Yeah.
Say it again.
TeePublic. Sorry, it's not tchip. It's tpublic.com, Chrissy Love Live. Yeah. Please go buy with Love Nation. Thanks.
Spell it so we know what to type in.
TeePublic.com/Chrissy Love Live.
There you go. Go get your shirts.
Thanks.
Kendora says these young people don't like to protect themselves. They listening to two Vibes cartels. Baby born November, you turn millionaire December. They see him to head out, but plenty struggling single mothers out there.
But guess what? Can I say something on this International Women's Day? I blame us women, because procreation doesn't happen unless we say so. I don't care how much talk a man piling on you. You decide when you get pregnant. So if you want to be a struggling single mother, I give you 1, 2, 3 times. But 4, 5, 6, 7, use an ass.
I agree. We can wrap up on that single mother issue. Let me read a couple more comments. Shay Smith says, my Grammy and stepmother gives me the most beating, but my mother was the pincher. Oh, pitcher, sorry. Pincher. My mother was the pitcher. She used to throw stuff, so I used to run a lot from her. My God.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you mind you, please? You notice you running from your parents and they hauling items after you? What
Greg,
type of...
That happens plenty, Greg. That's what I'm telling you. we could talk about this all we want, but this is a touchy subject for Bahamians. Look here, my mommy hit me with a fan before, babe.
Look here, I watched my brother hand get beat with rolling pin.
Thank you. So don't act like these crazy people ain't our relatives. So we feel this way, Greg, but the culture is such that I don't see a change in no time soon.
No, I don't either, but that ain't gonna stop me from speaking out against it.
No, I agree. Remember, you used to get Paul with 10 big rock 4 years ago, and you start talking about this on my show.
They're still trying to throw up, but you know what? I think I do notice a shift.
I heard you were good on the show, though.
I notice in a shift, but see, because most people are reasonable, right? Of course, you're gonna have the extremes who you can't even reason with them at all. You always
don't tell me.
But for the most part, most people are reasonable. So if you are providing perspectives that they never saw before, or hearing things that they never heard before, giving them something to think about, some people will actually think and take it into consideration. And that's the tone I got from a lot of the callers and stuff. Like, they actually were taking certain things into consideration and were open to other suggestions. So as we progress, you know what I mean? Slowly but surely, I think we are making progress, which is good.
There's hope, Greg.
Yes, there is.
There's hope. And Bahamians are changing their attitudes, because we have seen the kind of society we've created from all this violence and beating up on your children and mistreating them and abusing them and neglecting them. And this is why we have the society that we have.
Yep. And I say it all the time, but people don't want to accept that. Michael Roma says, checking in from Chicago, enjoying the podcast. Why, thank you, Michael Roma. We appreciate
Michael
tuning in from Chicago. We do this every week, every Thursday at 5:30. If you want to watch live on Facebook, and we also have it on YouTube, just search for the Under the Rug Podcast on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. We upload the episodes later.
Remember the D.
Remember the D?
Not that kind of D. Donate.
Too much people remembering that D. That's why we got all this trend right now. I hope I pronounced your name right. Tamerlise Boyd says, pinching is worse. My friend said she used to take the needle pin. Hold on. Let me run that back. My friend says she used to take the needle pin to check her son. And the more he act up, the more she pin him. She said, no one can see you pinching and pinning. Hold on now.
That's all right. When her son start pinching and pinning her, and her depends and her unsure, I hope she ready.
What is pinning now? What is pinning?
You juke the child with the pen?
Now, see, that's what I thought, but I was hoping that it was something else. That was
acting like you ain't Bahamian.
So parents out there actually sticking children with pins?
Gregory, you know
no,
what's going on?
I ain't gonna lie. I hear a lot. I heard about a lot. I have never heard about actually stabbing children.
Not stabbing.
That's what it is. Is the sharp object puncturing the skin?
That's okay, Greg. That's like saying. That's like saying. Gregory, amplification, party of one. Your table's ready.
Sometimes you gotta amplify things for people to hear.
I agree. But if you beating on your children like that, there's something wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. And people don't like to when you tell them that, they just get mad. Okay? If you beating your children in the road, something wrong with you.
Yeah, and see, let's wrap up on this one. Tito said, I think it starts with correcting single parent homes.
It's not the single parent home, it's a single parent.
She said, no, it's a needle pin. I had never heard of it until. What is a needle pin? I don't know. I have to look that up.
I guess a straight pin.
I don't.
You got people just pinch and stick their chair in, man.
Boy, you gotta explain to us what that is. But let's talk about the single mothers, because that came up as well. And you know what it was? Like, because it's so hard. You're a single mother, you're by yourself, and you just, you're working to try and provide for
That's the child fault?
You know why? You see why I love you?
Who picked that nigga? You see why? That lame nigga?
This was my exact point. You should not use that as an excuse. That is a you problem. That is an adult problem. That is an adult decision-making problem. You can't tell me, oh, I get frustrated because it's a single mother and it's hard and, I have to work so hard. No, I get it.
Greg, someone actually said that?
Yes, not someone. People. There are a lot of women that feel this way. They want some
I gotta go dark on that one. I can't take it. We have some stupid fucking people breeding now.
No, but I understand it to a degree, but at some point you have to take accountability for your actions. You have to be responsible for the decisions you make. It is not the child's fault that you weren't able to find a good, competent partner to procreate with, and that you guys could not make the relationship work. That is not the child's problem. The child did not ask to be here. You all decided to be fresh, feel up one another, and go forward with the motions with the child. That is
Greg, I just like you till you go overboard.
What is overboard?
Good until you go, and you know that button on the car, OD?
Yeah.
Go overdrive, Greg.
It's the truth. Am I lying?
Doing good till you say y'all decide to feel up one another.
Okay, Chrissy, you don't feel up one another when you juice it?
Greg, overdrive.
Huh?
Pull back.
You don't answer the question.
Okay, yeah, you do. Yeah, whatever.
If I lying, I hear you. If I telling the truth, then leave me.
You ain't lying. It's just harsh, Greg. It's just harsh when you say it.
Life is harsh. Reality is harsh to some people. It ain't harsh if you accept it. You come to grips with it and you own it. It's not harsh.
Couch it in some
language. Denial. That's when it's harsh.
Couch it in some language.
Huh?
Couch it in some language that is
no. I tired putting ketchup and thing on these fries. No, you. Dora Lightborn says, I get plenty pinch in church. My Grammy was real sleek and
Dora, stop lying on my friend.
She never used to miss a note in the hymn while pinching me to pieces. Mother sick.
Oh yeah.
Was a multitasker.
Pinch in church?
Pinch in
like, look here, Sunday, get pinched. That's a Bahamian thing.
Oh, that's the same comment. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. But yeah, people
say your Grammy, don't just lying on my good friend, your mommy.
Listen, people, we have to recognize that the reason we experience all these social ills, all this violence, all these dysfunctional relationships, we don't know how to communicate correctly because they were not communicated to correctly by their parents. Therefore, they go into relationships not knowing how to communicate. It just is emotions and oftentimes violence and abusive relationships. So we have to realize that this is the foundation we are laying when we're using these barbaric, archaic forms of calling it discipline. It's not discipline because you ain't teaching a child that. You're teaching them that it's okay to hit.
What do we do? My Grammy beat my mummy beat me. How I can not beat Kamikio?
What?
Kamikio. You know that's what his name my children. Kamikio.
But listen, here's what to do, right?
Yeah, what to do?
Learn your children.
True.
Please learn your children. Once you realize that they are nothing but little human beings, you have to study human beings.
Feelings.
With feelings. They matter. They want to know that they are loved. Like the 12-year-old girl says, she don't believe her mother love her. They want to know that you love and care for them and appreciate them. And you know what the key is? They deserve respect too. A lot of us feel like our children don't need no respect. You're a child. What respect? Children are humans and every human desires respect. They want to be respected. You show them a degree of respect, I can guarantee you that they would take your message in a lot better than if you just treating them as though they are cattle or property.
Shut up and do as I say.
Say again?
Shut up and do as I say. That's Bahamian child rearing.
Who on hear that? Like, really? And then
how many of us grew up hearing that?
And you wonder why we're so passive and why we allow so much nonsense to go on with this in this country and why politicians and these people could get away with so much foolishness is because we've already been conditioned to deal with abuse and sit back and do nothing because we should not challenge authority. They just leave them alone, just like your parents. Well, there's my parents, so I can't really challenge them. So you sit back and you get juice, or would you say, Chrissy, you get grind straight through
to powder.
And taking up everything and leaving you to suffer because you don't challenge authority because this is what you've been conditioned to do. Just sit back and take it. And not only take it, but champion it and celebrate it because you had no other way of coping and dealing with it. So you had to
cry. Make my head wrap come off. You can make me cry.
But it's true.
That's sad because so many of us are in that position. So many of us are hurting. So many of us are scarred. So many of us. And the thing is, we don't get the help we need to deal with scars.
Right.
But that's why when you see people abusing their elders, I ain't saying it right.
No, it ain't right.
Fucking stand.
But it's a lot more than that story that you probably don't know about. So be humans. Treat your children like humans. They are not your property. You don't own them. And this is what I say all the time. If you believe you own your child, go try put them out on the market and sell them, or go kill them.
Treat the children well, man. Treat the children well. But Greg, it's hard with these children back talking you and you use your last dollar to buy that ramen, 10 for $1. You just want to chop them in their mold.
I get it, and I understand it, especially because you've been conditioned with it your whole life and you've been going through it for so long. You normally just revert to that automatically. Like that's just a second nature now. You just revert to that instantly.
Yeah.
But you have to take a step back, and it's a process. It ain't gonna happen overnight. It's a process. You have to continue to tell yourself that no, this is wrong, and I have to now get creative and find different ways to get my message across that does not do abuse. You have to step back and do that because this is the only way we'll be able to get rid of this problem.
I hope we all get the healing that we need because it just
do.
breaks my heart. It's just so hard breaking some of the things people have gone through and are going through. It's just, and it's like we repeat the same cycle.
Cycle.
This show just put me in my feelings, man. I just have to lay down after the show and ball up. Seriously.
But those are conversations that you need to have. And like you said, I ain't trying to judge nobody. You know what I mean? You know, we throw our little jazz here and there. We have fun. We make jokes or whatever. But at the end of the day, I ain't trying to judge nobody. I ain't judging you. I'm trying to help. You know what I mean? And you can reach out to me. You know what I mean? I ain't afraid to talk. If you feel like you want to have a conversation and ask for different ways. I don't know everything. I'm not a guru. I have a child. If she's 5 years old, I still learning on the go. I learning on the job. I learning as I go along because there are scenarios that I probably don't know what they would have happened because I haven't been through it yet. But it's a learning process. It's a part of life and it's a part of growth. So it's gonna take some time, but start taking the first steps, the necessary steps.
Yeah.
To move in that direction because we got to us. We can just continue to go down this path of destruction and devastation and violence and chaos. That's all we can end up going down. But other than that, we done gone on for way longer than we supposed to.
True? Okay, bye. I gone.
Yeah, later.
Don't start tonight. I gotta go.
Tell the people where they can find you because people still ask me.
People still wondering. Let me tell you where I is. I on the YouTube. You can check me there between 2 and 4 every day. YouTube.com/C/Chrissy Love Live to the world. Find me there. That's where it is be.
Or just search Chrissy Love Live to the world. And
yeah, I'm on the Googles, boo.
Well, people still get www. Yeah, there's Chrissy Love Live to the world on YouTube. And for the Under the Rug podcast, just go to goundertherug.com. All of our shows are on there. We have the videos on there. We upload the videos too. Please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Wayne, come look at Kelly.
Please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to get some more subscribers. So go ahead. We have all the episodes up there. We have these kinds of discussions all the time. So go ahead, subscribe, share the video, like the page, follow us Under the Rug Podcast, having the discussions that we need to have to make the Bahamas a better place. Chrissy, love you, appreciate you.
Love you too, Greg.
Until next time, peace out. Stop eating your churn, match.